That's All Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
Just play music all hour, right? Is there any vibe? Do we have to pay if we play too much music? I can't hear you. I assume you have to pay.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Do you have to pay rights if you play too much music? AMCAT or whatever that was?
Yeah, I think like on YouTube too. Also, like if you play music that's copyrighted, then they'll like X out your video so you can't watch it then.
In the future.
Not right now. No.
Today.
But people can't watch the replays then.
So I need to. Have we ever done a show just on YouTube? I think this is a first, isn't it?
We've done half shows on YouTube, not an entire show though. So but this will only be an entire show if the Brewer game doesn't end before 6 o'clock.
All right, so I can put it on YouTube here. Or I put it on Twitter. Though nobody calls it. Does anybody else but me call it Twitter?
I still call it Twitter, yeah.
Most people do. So the first thing we would do is a Rainman competition, which we do. Even though we're on YouTube, we would still do it on Wednesday, but I don't know. Do we have to take caller 5 or I don't know if we'll have 5 callers. 1-800-990-3776. Caller, whatever Pebble decides, will automatically win a $25 gift card from Cousin Subs, and then we'll compete in our 15 questions. Hold on a second here. Do we hold, is everything the same standard as if we're on radio, or what's...
We always have a high standard no matter what we're on, Homer, whether it be radio, YouTube. It's the Good Karma Brands way.
But I can swear, right? I could
swear because
I can use the F word if I want.
You could, yes, but we do have some standards. It's it's.
They're your standards. Can I use the F? Should I use the F word?
I would say no.
No. Okay. How about the S word? We let Paul Horning use it.
In some kind of context, I would think. Maybe.
He said we let him say bullshit whenever he wanted.
There you go. Yep.
Okay. So I don't think I'll do it. And that's just,
well, you just did.
But I didn't do it to do it. I just repeated what we allowed Paul Horning to do. But 1-800-990-3776. You tell me if you have enough contestants in order to have a contestant for Rainman. That's our 15 questions in 2 minutes, stolen from ESPN. Kenny Mayne was the one who started it, and it was to beat the Schwab, who Dan Needles did defeat, and that's why I called him Rainman, and that's where this got its name, Rainman. And everything associated with Rainman at ESPN is gone. Schwab is gone. I think he passed away in recent years. Dan Needles is gone, not passed away, but not here anymore. Kenny Mayne, who started the competition, is gone. The only thing that lives is the 15 questions in 2 minutes, and that we do give away a prize. Where do we stand as far as a contestant? Do we have one yet?
We do. It's Chef Ed.
Oh, that's great. I saw Chef Ed today. He can promote where he works now and everything. He can do whatever he wants, except he cannot swear. Only I can swear, or you can swear. If he swears, we're going to give him the hook, give him the boot. Joining us now is one of the greatest contestants in the history of Good Karma, and that would be Chef Ed. Chef, good evening.
How's it going, Homer? How you doing?
It feels odd to be just on YouTube. I've been on radio since February of 1980, so this is new. I do other things that are on YouTube, but never assuming that it was radio first. So you, even though we're on YouTube, he still gets the $25 gift card from Cousin Subs?
Correct, yes.
All right. That seems odd. He's a chef. The chefs, I guess, have to go eat somewhere else, too. I guess you'd like to know where a chef goes to eat, because the food would, I assume, be pretty good. Do you have a particular restaurant that you think is very good, even though you don't work there, or are you not allowed to say that?
Well, I have a big, strong German background. So I love German cooking, so I visit Mater's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Is it still viewed as the top German place in Milwaukee?
Oh, yeah. Well, it used to be, Karl Rosch's, John Ernst Cafe, and Mater's, but now those two are gone. So Mater's is the only existing one now. So
that it wins because there's no one else to compete against it. All right, Rainman is brought to you by Saganiac Planning, the name synonymous with employee benefits, top-notch service. They've been doing it well for over 50 years. You've been a chef for 50 years? No, you're not old enough.
Yeah, 48 years.
48. Because I've been in radio.
I cooked for the Green. I cooked for Lynn Dickey and for Lynn Dickey and the Green Bay Packers when he played at County Stadium way back in the day, and the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brewers and a lot of people. I cooked for a lot of people.
Lynn Dickey was very nice, though. At one point, I hoped that they broke both his legs because he made me mad. But we moved on from that, and he became a reasonably good friend, and he was always a good quarterback. I am at 45 years, so I'm a little behind you. So Saganiac Planning also, they're the perfect size. You got to be big enough so that the companies they deal with treat them well enough, but then you can't be too big because you got to be able to give all your different clients the proper attention. But if you were too big, you probably couldn't give them the time they need. So you need to be at the right spot. 783, I believe it's the easiest phone number to remember because it's 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161.
That number again, 262-783-6161.
7 is high, correct?
We have 2 tied with 7 right now.
And Chef
Josh in Jackson and Joe in Milwaukee.
Even though we are just on YouTube.
I got the clearance from the higher-ups, and we can, he will get the $25 gift card to Cousin Subs, and he is part of the competition. So if he does get 7 or 8, he'll be the new leader. If he gets 7, he is tied with the 3-way tie then.
Let's see if I go through all these. I usually read them ahead of time. This one, this time I didn't, but I think I can survive. I mean, let's face it. Neither of us think Chef Ed's going to get to 7, do we?
Come on, Homer. You got to have a little faith in Chef.
I think you get. I don't think you'll get 7. I think you get 6. So it's not. He's not terrible. Close. He's good, but I don't. There are certain sports of which he's very good, and other sports he's terrible in. I can't remember. What's your what is your Rainman resume?
What's
Chef
your
Ed?
wheelhouse, Chef?
Yeah, if you could get one Packers.
My wheelhouse is the Packers. I'm kind of leery because I think with the March Madness, you're probably going to go college basketball. I'm not too strong in college basketball, but I'll give it a shot.
You give it a shot. All right, ready to go here? The first question is
I'm ready.
Is the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. Saganiac Planning, such a great supporter of Marquette. You ready to go?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. Where did Shaka Smart get to the Final Four with what college?
Pass.
Green Bay's new wide receiver, Mecole Hardman, 12 games with Kansas City last year. How many receiving yards? 90, 180, or 270?
90.
That's correct. Last team to win the NCAA men's basketball title, not UConn.
Duke.
Incorrect. How many NCAA titles in a row did John Wooden win at UCLA?
10?
Incorrect. NBA titles in a row. Boston Celtics. How many?
13.
Incorrect. Who holds the NFL record? Most rushing attempts. Over 4,400.
Derrick Henry.
Incorrect. Holds the NFL record. 143 yards rushing per game for a season.
Repeat that quick, please.
Holds the NFL record. Averaged 143 yards rushing per game for an entire season.
Barry Sanders.
Incorrect. Holds the NFL record. Back-to-back games, he had 476 yards.
Derrick Henry.
Incorrect. He holds the NFL record. A quarterback with 181 yards rushing in a playoff game.
Lamar Jackson.
That's incorrect. June 25th, 1968. This baseball star with a grand slam in his major league debut game, not as good as his son turned out to be.
Cecil Fielder.
Incorrect. He holds the baseball record, caught stealing 335 times.
Lou Brock.
Incorrect. What NBA player won 11 titles in 13 years?
Bill Russell.
Correct. How old is LeBron James?
33.
Incorrect. NBA championships for LeBron James. How many?
4.
Correct. How many NBA finals appearances for LeBron James?
8.
Incorrect. I have him at 3.
I have 3 as well.
All right. Let's see how bad you are because we'll know based on Pebble.
Pebble always does good.
Pebble's good. If I don't know. I had a couple personal favorites here. I put them in for a reason. I'm going Don Hudson on things now. Where did Shaka Smart go to the Final Four?
VCU.
Very good. You got correct. Mecole Hardman, 12 games with Kansas City last year, 90 receiving yards. It's hard to be that bad. Last team to win the NCAA men's basketball title, not named UConn.
Kansas.
Is correct. How many NCAA titles in a row did John Wooden win at UCLA?
10?
7.
7.
He's 7 in a row. He won 9, 10 in 13 years, I believe. NBA titles in a row for the Boston Celtics. How many?
8?
8 is correct. Who holds the NFL record? Most rushing attempts over 4,400.
Eric Dickerson?
Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith.
This is my favorite, and this is what everybody needs to know. Because the key is rushing yards per game, not total rushing yards because they've played a different number of games, 12, then 14, then 16, now 17. Holds the NFL record, 143 yards rushing per game for a season.
Eric Dickerson?
O.J. Simpson, 1973. Need to know how great he was. Holds the NFL record, back-to-back games, 476 yards.
I'll go with O.J. Simpson again.
O.J. Simpson, correct, and not the same year. Not 73, 76. That's how great he was. We should not give Chef Ed the $25 gift card because he didn't know this. Holds the NFL record, a quarterback with 181 yards rushing in a playoff game.
He crushed your Packers, Chef. Colin Kaepernick.
January 12, 2013. And you know what? 181 yards rushing in 16 carries. This is a personal favorite. I don't know if Pebble can get it right. June 25th, 1968. This baseball star, though not as good as his kid turned out to be, with a grand slam in his major league debut game.
Ken Griffey?
Bobby Bonds. He holds the baseball record, caught stealing 335 times. Chef Ed, a great answer, though not correct. Your choice was second.
I was going to say Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson is correct. What NBA player won 11 titles in 13 years? I use that question more than any. How old is LeBron James?
40.
40. NBA champion for LeBron James. Chef Ed got it right. 4. How many NBA Finals appearances for LeBron James?
He's been there 10 times.
10. And I would mention 8 in a row. 8 in a row. The greatness of LeBron James is his ability to make teams so good, he gets them to the finals, and they probably weren't good enough to get there. They did only because of his greatness. That's why he is 4-6 in the finals. Bill Russell, 11 titles in 13 years. And greatest And think of this, how good Jim Brown was. Jim Brown couldn't even get 143 yards rushing per game for a season. O.J. Simpson. All right. Chef Ed gets the $25 gift card. I guess we were right. Chef Ed, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. $25 gift card is good, but how many
do you feel like you should have gotten right? Is it 3 or did you miss?
At least 3. At least 3 more, probably 6. But
Ricky Henderson, Colin Kaepernick, and we'll say one other. So, yeah, I'd say 6. Yes, you were going to say something, Chef Ed?
Yeah, with my bracket, I think I'm going to win a $1,000 gift card to Cousins because I think I got a good bracket going.
Is that what we're giving away?
Yeah, that's what we're giving away. Yeah.
I can't do that, right?
You cannot, no, but we do have a GKB only one you can enter as well here.
What do I win if I win that?
I think something with, I have to look it up here real quick, Homer. Something with Craig, and then he gives us money.
Oh, you go to a game or something like that?
No.
Oh, the bracket. Chef Ed, all right, who do you have winning the whole thing?
I'm going on a limb, and I got Houston. For some reason, I feel about Houston's going to take it.
That's a good guess. I like Houston as well. They finally have a good offense this year. I also like Florida a great deal, and there's really reason to like Duke.
So in our GKB bracket, Homer, first place wins $100 to our GKB team store. Second place wins lunch with a leadership.
$200.
Second place in each wins a lunch with a leadership teammate of your choice based on schedule and availability. Third place wins lunch with your best friend at work, whoever that is.
Oh.
And then a bonus prize, everyone who beats Craig, our fearless leader, and either bracket, the men's or women's, will be entered in to win $1,000.
Oh, so we have a bracket for men's and women's?
In our GKB one, for teammates here, yes, we do.
Okay, and so are all the prizes for both?
The prizes are for both, yes.
So I could win twice that. I could win each one, and then I get the 2 prizes, right?
Yes, except for the $1,000 one. I think this is for, you see.
That's for everybody who beats him in men's and women's.
Yeah.
Can we see his bracket or not?
You cannot see anybody's bracket until after the game starts tomorrow, or when the women start as well.
A little disappointed they didn't have as a prize breakfast at Ted's with Homer, but I can't do that now, right? That'd be a violation.
That's not a violation of rules because it's for GKB teammates only. So you could put it into the mix if you want to.
Nah, they didn't even ask me. I feel a little upset about that. They say Homer, but no, I'm not. I'm not even kidding. Houston, you've got Houston. Pebble, give me some input. I have not filled mine out yet. I really think it's Houston, Florida, or Duke.
I've got Auburn winning the whole thing. I think Auburn is the Virginia of a couple of years ago where they lost to the 16 seed, came back the next year with everybody and won it all.
Did they lose last year?
They lost. Auburn lost last year, but they lost closer to the end. So they're bringing everybody back again this year. I think in fact that they lost 3 games at the end of the year, they're still a hot team. They still won 17 SEC games in the best league in the country.
I agree, and I will say that of the teams I saw early in the year, I thought Auburn was the best. The other team that I really like, I would have considered Iowa State, but the one kid, Gilbert, is hurt, and there's no way they can win.
No. I have Auburn, Texas Tech in one Final Four.
Tech.
And then Duke against Houston in the other with
I don't know anything
Houston
about Texas
Auburn.
Tech. What's the deal with Texas Tech?
Tech is getting a couple of guys they had hurt back, so they add in some more depth. JT Toppin's a really good player.
Is that they're in the Big 12?
In the Big 12, yeah.
Now, I just know the guy at Ole Miss, did he used to be at Texas Tech, and they went to the championship game? Beard?
Yeah, Beard, yeah.
So this guy replaced Beard?
Yeah, he replaced Beard, yeah. No, because Beard was at Texas Tech, then he went to Texas,
right,
and then he went to Ole Miss.
Beat up his girlfriend, or allegedly. I don't know what he did.
Am I still on, guys?
No, I didn't know. Do you have any? Yes. Do you have any Texas Tech thought?
Pebble, I wanted to tell Pebble I got the exact same Final Four as he's got. I got the same 4, and I got Auburn and Houston in the title game, but I have Texas Tech in there as well.
Wow.
I have to change my picks now.
Where's Texas Tech ranked? They've been good, right?
They've been good. They're a 3 seed. Do you guys know how many times all 4 number 1s made it to the Final Four?
I don't believe ever, or maybe once.
One time, 2008.
And that seems to be a common thought. this year. There's not one person saying it. A group of people are all saying it. If not, Tennessee, I think, is... Pick a team that's not a number one. You pick Texas Tech to make the Final Four, Pebble?
Yeah, Texas Tech.
I would think Tennessee is really good. Who else is it 2? Alabama's a 2?
Yeah, I have them bowing out to Wisconsin eventually. And Sparty's a 2 also. They got a great draw.
Yeah,
Sparty did.
People really like them. I'm just not convinced, and maybe that's stupid because the Big Ten is often gets to the Final Four and then maybe even a championship.
Sparty, though, Sparty likes to play that rough style of Big Ten play, and the refs don't call that in the tourney. So.
Correct. They're a little tough. They don't let you play as tough in the tournament generally. Excellent point. But the Big Ten, 0-7 in championship games since 2000 when Michigan State won. UConn, on the other hand, has 6 titles. 6 titles. And the Big Ten has 0. Think about that. All right, Jason Wilde. Thanks, Chef Ed. I think if I had to put the most money on it, I would probably take Florida. Duke didn't play anybody.
A lot of people like Florida.
But you don't really know because Duke didn't really play anybody, did they?
They have the best player in the country, Cooper Flagg. And if they play the kind of defense they played in the ACC tournament without Cooper Flagg, they're going to be a very tough out.
Yes, and everybody should want Duke because their second best player is Con Knippel, who is from Milwaukee. Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Bucket's Pub Second Round Racine, Bullwinkle's in Brookfield, Stenny's Lake Country in Pewaukee, Thirsty Duck Sussex, Brewski Sports Pub and Barbecue Milwaukee, and Morton's Pub South Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
For your little ones and your biggest joys, for your forever true and your fur kids too. For all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call John Saganiak Jr. John Saganiak Jr., Saganiak Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiak Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiak Planning Marquette basketball greatest scorers. Career points is nice, but the best way to judge scoring, points per game. Marquette's top 10 points per game. Number 1, Marcus Howard. Then George Thompson, Dwayne Wade, Jim Jones, and Dean Meminger, the top 5. Don Kojas, Mike Moran, Bob Wolf, Terry Rand, and Tom Flynn, the rest of the top 10, got to be above 16 per game to make the list. Over 20 points per game for a career, only Marcus Howard and George Thompson.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. You know the ones. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security get garnished, or a lien put on your house so that you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a solution to solve your situation now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. The first meeting is free. Call now, 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
For Jenna, helping others find joy is so rewarding. It's why we love to do what we do.
I enjoy simplifying the process for the customer, taking the time to listen, and finding the right solution.
Randy understands that everyone's situation is different, so we don't just slap together cookie cutter solutions.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
Jake arrives at your free in-home consultation with pre-prepared materials to fully envision your dream Pella build.
We are with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Whether you're working with Ryan or another Pella consultant, we don't go away after the sale. We're ready with anything you may need before, during, and after installation. And right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for up to 72 months. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply at 3/31/2025. This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Just go to WisconsinOnDemand.com, hit Jason Wilde. You will be amazed. He might be on the station more than the station. You can quote me on that. Good afternoon, Jason.
Good afternoon, Homer. How are you today?
I don't know. I've never done just YouTube only, so I'm still trying to figure out if you have any idea of how many people are watching and whether you should swear or not swear. How often?
Don't swear. That's not even on brand for you.
It's not even what?
It's not on brand for you. You're not a...
Well, I did mention the swear word that we allowed Paul Horning to say. He was the only person ever during all the shows I did where he could say bullshit, and we did not edit it out. That was because of his greatness.
Well, he was a legend. We had Charles Woodson on. I mean, Tausch and I have had him on a bunch. Tausch played with him, and he's obviously one of my favorites that I've ever covered, and he and I remain close, and he kind of rises to that level too. But the FCC doesn't care that Charles Woodson is one of the GOATs, so he used a couple of different words during various visits, and now I'm always nervous when he comes on just because of the profanity. And then
hold on before we move on to something else. What about him do you know as a friend that's even better than those of us who know him but don't know him as a friend?
Yeah, I think first of all, it's that he's no different, I mean, in terms of how he interacts with you, from the way he led that team to the way he connects with people. Like, he makes me feel like I'm an important teammate whenever I talk to him. Like, I obviously reached out to him for my Nate Hobbs story because Nate Hobbs is going to wear number 21. But, the best thing that he ever said to me, and he actually wrote it on a photo of the two of us, that I don't have many autographs, but he said, I always respected your work because you always respected the player. And respect is such an important thing to him, and it's a really important thing to me. Like, I always thought, you show how much you care about somebody with how much you respect them. And if you don't show them respect, then you can say that you care, but you don't really. And you could tell the people that he did not respect and that he questioned their motives or their commitment or whatever else. And so
You mean in the media or just in general?
No, media, teammates, opponents. Like, he's not he is a guy who certainly lives by a certain code. And I think the more that you live by a code, the more respect he has. So whether it's how you treat people or how committed you are to what you're doing, I've just learned a lot from just knowing him and being around him. But on the flip side of it, the worst part of knowing him to the level that I'm very lucky to do this, but he just makes you feel so uncool because he's so much cooler than anyone else. Even Aaron Rodgers has to admit, who's a pretty cool guy himself, that we are nowhere near as cool as Charles Woodson. And I think
wait a minute. What makes him so cool? What's the number one on the list of cool? The way he dresses.
It's like that old. Well, no, it's beyond. It's not the clothing. It's not like it's everything. He has an aura about him that it's just it's like that old saying. I don't know how to define it, but when I see it, I know what it is. I mean, his coolness is just. He always knows what to say. He carries himself a certain way. Like all of us have awkward moments. You and I more than others. And I just feel like, has this guy ever felt awkward ever in his life? And so that's what I mean. Like there's a constant coolness about him that just none of us are able to say, yeah, I've been that cool. Maybe I've had moments of coolness, but never consistently the way he does. He's special.
I would agree with that coolness. Al McGuire always said he wanted point guards only that had such coolness. It was as important to him as to how good a player they were and I think that Tom Brokaw said this, and I tend to agree. Most people are the same they are in junior high in terms of the way they think about themselves or the way they carry themselves. And I thought, I'll buy that. And I'm sure that Charles Woodson was cool in ninth grade or in junior high. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I would push back as much as I love Tom Brokaw. I think some of us are late bloomers who lacked confidence or maybe didn't have a support system that helped us with the travails of going through that period. And I think it's really. I agree with you on Charles Woodson. I would say others of us maybe lacked confidence then or were insecure then or maybe just were allowed others to make us feel insecure. And then later on, we stopped feeling that way and we understood, the gifts that God had given us and the qualities that we have.
Yeah, because my view of the world has been the same then as it is now. I just have never felt that people fully appreciated my greatness. Then it was girls, but then it's pretty much the rest of society. So I can't hold them responsible. But anyway.
Well, again, if you're going to complain about people not appreciating your greatness, then maybe you shouldn't push back on people that are trying to get you in the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame.
I knew you might go there, but I've already addressed that for the other issues. I also hold certain things to a standard, and I blame my parents.
I love it when we talk about your dad. That's one of my favorite conversations we have.
Yeah, that's just very odd. That I could do therapy on that. Someone would try to explain how I never listened to anything he did and never talked about him until after he died. Now I bring up his stuff all the time. Well, if it was so great, why didn't I listen to it when he's alive?
Because you're a knucklehead.
Okay, that's the kind of support I need. I don't know. I'd have to.
It's much deeper than that. No,
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that deep. I thought that's what you were supposed to do when you're a kid. Like people that say they want to be with their parents. Who wants to be with your parents? What? No, yeah. I'm 14 years old. I don't want to be anywhere near my parents. So, but
yeah,
anyway.
my hope would be with our girls that while they don't want to be with us all the time, that they appreciate the wisdom that we impart. And I think, knock on wood, they've done a pretty good job of that. But we're lucky. They make us look like better parents than we are.
And since you mentioned my dad, I will say that he said this, and I did buy this, though never when he was alive. He said, my mom was a nag, and my dad, all he did was smoke Camels and drink Jack Daniels. He's a salesman. But he said, every day of my life, I knew my mom loved my dad, and my dad loved my mom. And I thought, yeah, I did as well. And that's about all. That was the best part of my parents. I think that's what the best thing parents can do for their kids. But I'm not even sure that's true. But
I think it's part of a. I think it's a puzzle and that is an important part of the puzzle. But I think if that's all you do, in my own humble opinion, that is insufficient.
Yeah, well, that's because you set a standard it's just incredible. You know that. No, I'm not. I mean, you take your kids and you just all this stuff. It's amazing. You set a standard that makes it very difficult. Well, it's not that difficult. I could have done it. I chose not to.
Yeah, I would disagree. It's not difficult. I would say, again, without I have not done any therapy personally, but
neither have I.
I am sure much of this is driven by my own experience with my own parents and the amount of interest or commitment or support. I probably go overboard. I'm sitting in the parking lot right now of Synergy Sports, where Sydney's doing some training with my buddy Scotty, and then we're going to pick up Maddie from pole vaulting. And I just want them to know what I never was sure of, and that is that I care enough about them to give them all the opportunities that I never felt I had. And Paul is the same way. And so I will say this, because Paula's upbringing was much more challenging than mine. And I do think we're all products of that. You can choose to have that be a crutch and say, well, I don't do this because this is how my parents did this or that. I use it as a motivational tool for me, and I know Paula does, to do right by them where we feel maybe people didn't do right by us.
Yeah. If I had addressed that, I wouldn't be where I am now. If I'd had that situation, I could not have handled it. I would have done incredibly terrible things and been proud of it. As when I got punished by my dad for ripping up my older sister's term paper because she got a Schwinn bike and we got crap for bikes. I said, how do you feel now?
I kind of like that story.
He spanked us. I thought the Board of Education. I thought the Board of Education was a board. I didn't know there were actually people on the Board of Education. I discovered that in 7th grade. In the paper, I read the regular local news. I said to my mom, the South Bend Board of Education, they have a board just like Dad? She just shook her head and went, man, how do you get straight A's? No, and then so he spanked me and he said, how do you feel about yourself? And I looked at him and said, I'd do it again. Oh.
I respect that. I respect getting paddled. And
I give him credit because he didn't spank me again, which most parents probably would have. I'm going to keep spanking you until you figure this out. No, he just accepted it and moved on. And, oh, man. That might have been the maddest I've ever been in my life, I can think. Man, it's like everybody getting a Chevy and then somebody else gets a Rolls Royce. Come on! Not fair! But anyway, all right. Anything else you want to add? Because I think Tim Van Vooren, this is good because it's YouTube, so I feel like I have no responsibility for excellence whatsoever.
And let's be honest, you spent 3 hours with me today. We talked about lots of different things, including Packers-related stuff. So
and the wide receiver that I think is so insignificant, which I mention as important because if he does do things of significance, people need to appreciate the greatness of the addition.
Yeah. I mean, look, he has some evidence that he can be a playmaker, even if it's on a limited basis. But I always use this example. The signing of Jimmy Graham in 2018 was a terrible signing, surpassed only by the decision to keep him in 2019. But he won them a playoff game in 2019. They beat his former team, the Seahawks. And if he doesn't play as well as he did in that game, I don't believe the Packers advance and end up in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
And the reason why that's germane is that if a player can be meh or mid or whatever you want to say for the vast majority of the time that he is with your team. But if he is the critical piece that helps you win a playoff game, all should be forgiven. Because Lord knows the Green Bay Packers in the last 15 years since winning Super Bowl 45 have had lots of great regular season and even early playoff success. But if you deliver in the most critical moments and you didn't deliver in those other times, all is forgiven and your signing is worth it. And in Mecole Hardman's case, if they're playing in an NFC divisional round game and they're trailing and he returns a kickoff for a touchdown, or he takes a short pass and takes it 60 yards for a TD, and he only caught 8 passes throughout the regular season, this inexpensive signing will have more than paid for it.
And it cost him nothing.
Yeah, that to me is the biggest thing. They didn't pay him. I mean, when someone breaks the news of a signing and there is no number attached other than the 1-year nature of the contract, he got nothing. And so this is the kind of pickup that caught. I mean, I'm sure this contract is so minuscule that if he doesn't show them anything in training camp, they can just cut him and they don't lose anything. So this to me is a low risk. Is it likely to be a high reward? No, but it could possibly be a high reward, and that matters.
Yep. Thanks, Jason.
Say hi to Tim for me. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde. Yes, Tim would be Tim Van Vooren. He's soon, and he might be next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some great news from my friends at Bank 5-9. For a limited time, you can earn as much as 4.8% on one of their CD specials. With 9, 17, and 25-month options, you're sure to find a CD that fits your needs while you earn a great return. It's simply another way Bank 5-9 is making lives better in our communities. Hurry! These high rates won't last long. Check out bank59.com/CD for more details. Member FDIC.
For more than 40 years, Network Health has been the trusted experts in health plans. Just like you, they're honest, hardworking, and grateful to call Wisconsin home. Whether you're seeking coverage for yourself, your family, or your employees, Network Health has you covered with a range of options, including individual and family marketplace plans, employer plans, and Medicare Advantage plans. Call Steve Llewellyn, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiac Planning Marquette basketball greatest scorers. Marcus Howard has all the records at Marquette, and his greatness might also be best explained by saying he passed George Thompson. Thompson, 1,773 points when finishing in 1969. It was the Marquette career mark until 2009, 40 years later. And with Marcus Howard, Thompson the only player averaging over 20 points per game for a career. George Thompson, not number one, but he belongs in the same room with Marcus Howard.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why I started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting.
PrizePicks, the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple to play. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states. The app is really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do, pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your money. PrizePicks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Combine your favorite basketball players with players from baseball and hockey, esports, and much, much more. Second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. And don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. The three most important letters in sports. Even better than those. TVV. It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Vooren on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
We are trying to get Tim Van Vooren, Fox 6 Sports. The news is out that Providence forward Bryce Hopkins, who was thought possibly to be the Big East Player of the Year this year, he was recovering from a knee injury. He played 3 games, and the reason you just play 3, or I think 4 at the most, 3 or 4, is that you can then use it as a redshirt year. So even if he got tons of NIL money, which I don't know if he had to play a certain number of games to get it, that's pretty much what I would have done if I was in charge of NIL. I wouldn't automatically give it to you. You have to play so many games. But if you stop after 3 games, then you can redshirt and you get your year again. And he's entered the transfer portal. The assumption was that he was not going to come back to Providence because if they paid, NIL paid money, they probably didn't feel like they got their money's worth. The assumption that I had was that he could end up going to Georgetown and playing for Ed Cooley, who was his coach at Providence. However, the latest breaking news that he's nearing a deal to transfer to St. John's for Rick Pitino. And there has been a story, I don't know the accuracy, that Pitino has a supporter, NIL supporter, who is a billionaire, I think. But anyway, with
a capital B.
Yes, lots of billions. And I don't know who it is, but I would assume that Bryce Hopkins would probably get as much or more at St. John's than anywhere else. And I suggest that all people go to Steve Alford on Twitter and listen to his 6 minutes about the current NIL system. I think it is as accurate as anything I've read or heard, even though I can't really say that I know exactly what's going on. But his analysis of the concept and the where it is to where, as would be the case with me, if I was an athlete, I would be exploring all the different options based on the amount of money that I could make. And as I understand all the rules, that a college athlete, basketball player, football player, any sport, has to be treated as a normal student. And the normal student can transfer as many times as they want without being forced to suffer you can't do something for a year if you transfer. No, every kid can transfer, then every athlete should be able to transfer and take it from there. All the standards that I believe that they are enforcing are based on that premise. Does a student have to sit out a year in some way or limited in some way because he transferred from another school? No, well, that they shouldn't. And so other situations are all based on setting a standard similar to any student. Maybe Tim Van Vooren, 3-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year, has more insight into NIL. If he's got better than the 6 minutes that Steve Alford gave after, I don't know which game it was, that you can listen to. It's not asking you to agree or disagree. It doesn't really matter. Just that I think he best presents what is going on, and he made it simple. Kids go to the school that gives them the most money. TVV, good afternoon.
Homer, hello.
Let's first address any way you wish regarding the new returner wide receiver that the Green Bay Packers have acquired. It has been a point of mine for people to emphasize how little he did in the last couple of years. Not that he couldn't do something for the Packers, but based on his recent play, it would be likely to end up about as important as a zoo adding an ant to its list of people or animals or whatever they all are. But I don't want to overreact because I did realize, as someone said, he did run last year and had some decent runs and scored a touchdown. So he did have one area where he did something of very little significance, but way more than his receiving yards the last 2 years. Take it away, because if he get a high mark from the Tim Van Vooren Scouting Bureau, I will change everything I've said.
I don't know that I would call him an ant in the zoo, Homer, but I wouldn't change what you're saying.
All right, raccoon.
If you're the Packers, you're hoping for more than Sammy Watkins. You're hoping for more than Devin Funchess. But realistically, you can't be expecting much from Hardman at this stage of his career and fitting in with your group. I have zero problem with them trying him on a low-level, short contract. Why not? But I just don't think this is the groundbreaking offseason move that some people were hoping for.
And as I said, if he does well, and he won't have to do much, I will then, and Goody should be given credit for a phenomenal acquisition. I, in fact, will hold you. I will give you some time. What does he have to do in order for Goody to be given an A for the addition to the team? Just make the team? I don't think that's enough. I think he's got to.
Yeah, I think score a touchdown or two. I'm not always big on, give me this number indicates success, but I think he has to be some sort of a contributor to say he was worth it.
Yeah.
There was hype with Devin Funchess. Homer, do you remember?
I do.
He didn't make the team out of camp. There was hype with Sammy Watkins. May as well have not made the team.
Wouldn't you say come back?
Bennett.
Yeah,
there was hype with
all
Martellus
of them.
Bennett,
Don't you
who
believe?
Actually played.
Yeah, don't you believe that they all came with a higher legitimate expectation than
I would lump Funchess with Watkins and Hart. High draft choice. The name. Haven't really done much in the NFL in the last couple of years.
Is there anything to add about the Packers, or do we go right to your thoughts on the NCAA tournament? I'm always looking for. Do you have a bracket guy, or have any level of success at this in the past?
No. I play like everybody else, and I generally don't do well, and I'm okay with that. I am entertained by the March Madness stage. I look forward to it.
And I have a fascination this year because there's never been a conference. Well, there never used to be this big, but a conference gets 14 teams of 16. I think I'm right there. I really want to see how they do because I did watch their games, and all those teams seemed really good. And are they that good or not? We're going to find out based on how many make it to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, or all win their first game. Take it away.
I'll tell you one thing. The NIT is different than the NCAA. Boy, there's some teams that, talk a good game, they get in the NIT, and they just get drubbed. So, obviously, emotions matter this time of year.
Yes.
Where you're going forward. McNeese State, okay, their coach is going to NC State after the tournament, Will Wade. Well, what's McNeese State's, drive here? A lot of emotions really matter. You've been around the Marquette programs who, you kind of think, hey, this year they have it, or this year, I'm not really sure. The Badgers last year couldn't have been an easier out, to be honest with you. They played horribly, and they were dismissed quickly. This year, they think they have a chance to stick around for a while. It's interesting. I find that I love this time of year. I really do. And the conference dominance that you talk about in terms of talented rosters from the mega conference that's going to be all represented this year looks great. And those teams, when you watch them during the regular season, definitely show a lot of potential. But North Carolina should not have been in. I would absolutely agree with that. I would also not be surprised at all if North Carolina wins here in Milwaukee, at least its first game.
Yes, I would agree with you on both counts. I don't care if they win the title. That doesn't determine whether or not. And we all know why they got in. They got in because their AD is running the thing.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to believe that doesn't matter. But, of course, it does. All the other people that are there know him and, appreciate what he's done. And, hey, it's not like they were 4-26. And what difference does it really make? Probably not much. But let's put their team in. I go back to the first time Marquette got in with Kevin O'Neill. Marquette, I didn't think had any business being in. We didn't even have a meeting as if they were going to get in the tournament. And the guy running the tournament was his AD at Arizona.
Bingo.
Was there a connection? I certainly thought so because I don't remember ever a team getting in when there wasn't even a gathering as to are they going to get in? They're getting in. They got in? What?
And you take it and go forward, right? I mean, at North Carolina, he wasn't in the room, but he gave everybody their marching orders before he walked out the door. I mean, let's be honest there. You could have argued in 1977, Marquette didn't probably deserve to be in that year, and they won the national championship.
Yep, they were definitely on the edge. The local there's a local kid, Con Knipple, who's a major player in Duke. I don't know if that makes Milwaukee people root for. It's hard to root for Duke, but that's a local.
You see the athletics mock draft. Con Knipple's 6th.
Yes, he benefited from being able to show how important he is with the star out. He might even be before 6.
Yeah, Cooper Flag out, and he dominated the ACC tournament. He was the player of the tournament.
And Tim Van Vooren says, which team is going to win the national championship?
Oh, I'm guessing along with everybody else.
Yeah.
I'll go Auburn for the sake of it. Who do you have?
Yeah, local guy. I think Florida's the best team I've seen. Early in the year, I did think it was Auburn. So, but I'm really fascinated to see how Duke does because they're so young, and generally, that's a problem. But all right,
and their guys are leaving after this year. Their main guys.
Yes.
So what's their commitment here?
We're heading to Potawatomi next. We'll see what their picks are next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next.
Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple to play. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states. The app is really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do, pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Combine your favorite basketball players with players from baseball and hockey, esports, and much, much more. Second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. And don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
That weird Wisconsin weather is here. Snow one day, sun the next. But you can always count on Tsunami Express to keep your car clean. With 6 locations across southeastern Milwaukee, Tsunami Express helps fight that salt, grime, and mud with powerful vacuums and state-of-the-art wash technology. Technology like their best-in-class T2 with graphene for a long-lasting shine and protection. Stop at any Tsunami Express location and get your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express